ex-East Island Head in session with Easter. 2 more tunes to come. And Ben D, if you wouldn't mind introducing the rest of the band here.
Sure. Well, my name's Benjamin D. Duval, and playing cowbells, guitar, kick drum, we have Andrew P.M. Hunt. On bass and rototoms, we've got Ben Fair. And finally, on cowbells, cymbals and guitar, we've got Jonathan Herring.
Hello. And sounding really wonderful, and it's difficult to paint pictures as to what the scene is here with you playing live in front of us, but I'll attempt to. You're not quite playing in the round, but you are sort of, which I know you have been playing like that live, where basically you're in a square, aren't you, facing each other?
Yeah, so with the audience around us, and then it kind of depends on the venue, really.
Yeah, but has it always been the case that you are able at any point to see what the other 3 are doing, each of you?
Yeah, more or less. We really like it when we sort of bring the band into this sort of almost like diamond shape or something, and we're all quite close looking at each other, and the audience can sort of see through the setup as well and see the different techniques of what we're doing.
Does it help when it comes to anybody who may at some point want to extemporise a bit? Or is that frowned upon?
I mean, we're always locking eyes, and we can see what's going on. So a lot of the time, if someone's going to take it for a little walk, the others at least have an idea of what's going to happen.
Seems unlikely, doesn't it, when somebody in the band, this particular band, shouts, "Take it to the bridge, brother!" It's unlikely, that, isn't it?
Stranger things have happened.
It's an experimental outfit. You can do whatever you like. That's the beauty of it.
It's all in the eyebrows, really.
And similarly, you're watching and listening to each other, and at certain points, do you ever sort of drop out and just have a listen to what else is going on?
We should do that more than we do, probably.
Oh, totally. Like kind of the set that we've been playing sort of over the last year, which is pretty much the album Norther in its entirety. The first sort of 7 minutes of that, I'm not playing. I'm just stood back.
Like, I mean, none of us are doing very much at that point. The first 10 minutes of our set is us standing stock still, just moving a dial very, very slowly.
And raising and lowering our heads very slowly.
That's true. Don't let that put you off, though. It's a great show.
I think you started something here, Gig, because I can imagine the next gig that they do, one of them, I don't know which one, is going to walk off stage, sit down, get a pint from the bar, stay there for a quarter of an hour, just enjoying themselves.
There is a bit in the set where I get to walk about 3 metres and back again.
Wow.
Really? Yeah. Often we literally had someone in tears over that pit once in the audience. Genuine.
Is that like your equivalent of the Chuck Berry duck walk?
Or sliding on your knees across the stage.
Trousers slowly lowering.
You've already mentioned Northern. We heard the title number first of all as well. We should mention the wind from which it takes its name. Have we experienced that particular wind with the cold weather, what we've been having in these parts recently, would you say?
I would hate to claim to be a meteorologist of any, great reputation, but it's definitely been cold, and there's definitely been wind. But as to whether it's blowing in from the north, I haven't checked.
It features via a piece of equipment, which is a harp, isn't it? It's a DIY harp that you use. And it doesn't travel with you, it travels in sample form, is that right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So it's an Aeolian harp.
There you go.
So Aeolian, coming from the Greek god Aeolus, who was like the keeper of the winds. So that's where we get that word from. It basically means anything powered by the wind, like in a musical sense. So the Aeolian harp is like a piece of fishing line stretched between 2 points and then tensioned, and there's a resonator on it. When the wind blows across it, it creates harmonics, and you get this sort of weird theremin-like melody coming from it.
Which is what we hear throughout Norther itself, that tune. It sits there and it harmonises. Did you harvest a lot of it until it became the part that you use on that particular tune?
More or less, yeah. A lot of combing through, because we've got hours of this stuff recorded.
Ben's been making these things for the last couple of years, so there's no shortage of Aeolian harps in our pracky room, and no shortage of recordings of them on Ben's hard drive.
12-disc box sets coming out soon.
And I don't want to cast too much light onto Magic as well, but you've also got there's the whole business with how you have your guitars, and people can see that they are flat, and they have something inserted to lift the strings, and they are hit. aren't they?
Yeah, either hitting the body of the guitar or hitting the strings themselves. And we'll also rub Allen keys on the strings or use violin bows on them. And then also suspended above the strings, we've got the motor that sits in your mobile phone that makes it vibrate when it's on silent.
Yeah.
And that motor's hooked up to a battery and it just kind of dances across the strings. You'll hear a little bit of that in the next piece we do.
I love the quote that one of you came out with where you said if we had guitar straps, we could be like the Sweet. Which
I'm going to say that was you, John.
funnily enough, we've got some guitar straps in the other room, so we'll bring them in a short while. But obviously Liverpool, as as a cliche would have it, but it's a cliche because it's true, has just been responsible for some of the most wonderful pop music ever. Not only starting with the band who can't be named, but the likes of the Bunnymen and that great history and Real People and lots of different bands.
Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Indeed. And so, is there any kind of experimental forefathers in the Liverpool scene that you kind of look to?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, kind of, to be honest, these guys were all in a band called APAT, who still exist and who are still excellent, and they're good friends of ours. And APAT were a big influence on me when I was starting this band. And
Right.
also, I'd say we all have a healthy respect for Kling Klang and.
There was certainly loads of really interesting experimental music happening in Liverpool, and the improvised music, like venues like the Blue Coat had Captain Beefheart came and played, Sun Ra coming through. So there was a lot of that music passing through.
And Jane Casey.
And Jane Casey and all the Pink Industry and all that
Of
stuff.
course, yeah.
all that kind of sort of new wave stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, fab.
And you play without amps as well. Are you missing the heavy lifting of carrying amps around with you everywhere you go?
Not particularly, no.
We mentioned before there are 10 cowbells in attendance. Has there ever been the wag in the audience?
Yes.
It wasn't me. By the way, it was not me.
Listen out for all those noises and more on the next two tunes. Are you ready to play a couple in a row, please?
Yes.
There we
Let's
go.
do it.